regular meeting of the Chippewa County Board of Commissioners to order. As always, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Martin, would you start us off with the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And will the clerk please take roll call attendance?
Commissioner Egan. Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Martin.
Here.
Commissioner McLean.
Here.
Chairman Shackleton.
Here. We have a quorum, so we will continue. Additions, deletions to an agenda. We have a modified agenda that was submitted today by the Chief Administrator, Assistant Vice President. I'm trying to give you a promotion in your job title. So we have that before us. I believe everybody has it. So I think we can adopt this agenda with the couple of changes on it.
I'd move approval of the agenda as amended.
I'll second.
The motion is made to approve the agenda as was modified and submitted. Is there discussion on the motion before us? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. Approval of the county board minutes. We had a regular meeting on July 13th, 2015. Those minutes are on page 1. No, they aren't. They're on page... What page are they on? Oh, they're in the airways.
Original agenda.
Oh, yeah, they're on page 1 of our original agenda. Sorry. Got it. You could have shouted that out.
I'd move approval of the minutes as presented.
Support?
Motion made and supported that we approve the county board minutes of July 13th, 2015. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. There's correspondence received in the clerk's office. That is on page 15. I'm thinking of the original packet. There it is.
I'd move approval of the, I'd move to acknowledge the correspondence received in the clerk's office, and if necessary, forward them to the appropriate committees.
I'd support.
Motion made and supported that we recognize and forward as needed correspondence received in the clerk's office. Is there discussion on the motion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We come to the public comment portion of our agenda. If anybody'd like to address the county commission, this is your opportunity. I'll call a second time for public comment. Anybody like to speak? And last chance, public comment. Close the public comment period, and we move on to the administrator's report. Administrator German.
You'll see a list of the various reports there. And if there's any questions, you can ask me about it later in addition. I'd like to go over a quick synopsis of the building and grounds projects that are going on. The shed has been completed except for the rolling front door. If you get a chance to take a look at it outside, it looks very good. We're having some problems with, we got some pretty high quotes with the original mats that we had found. I began looking at the possibility of doing the steps with the coils in them on the handicap ramp, but that looks like it would be well in excess of $10,000. And actually Kelly found some good bargain on top of the cement mats on the internet, so we're going to give those a try right now. And then the roof, we're also having a quick look at. It's got some shingles that have blown off, and apparently the wood is rotting under the shingles. That's the courthouse roof. And then the bigger project, it was the beginning, as you'll recall, we were going to dig up and start with the courthouse steps, stopping the leak down to the tunnel. That's turning out to be a bigger project than we thought. We've had one contractor who said there was no materials involved, he wasn't interested. We've had a city person who works for the city who said we need engineering go down 8 feet, and that could potentially, if it doesn't come out far enough, you could wind up with a worker getting caught with a cave-in in there. So we're still looking at the courthouse steps idea, and that's all I have.
It's always something. All right. Then we'll move on to old business. Item 9 is old business, and item A under 9 is the FOIA policy and procedure resolution. That is on page 28. And again, we were updating our FOIA policy to be consistent with current law. So we do have that resolution before us. It's 15-19.
I'd move approval of resolution 15-19.
I would support.
Motion made and supported to adopt resolution 1519. Is there discussion? Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner McLean,
Yes.
Chairman Shackleton.
Yes. So resolution 1519 is adopted. We move to item B, jury board appointment. This is in our second packet on page 1. The clerk would like to have, where are we at? Al Beamish, thank you. I thought so, I was just looking for his name. We're going to appoint Al Beamish to be a substitute for the jury board because they need a little help as one of the members is often absent because of health issues. And that would be Al Beamish for a period beginning July 1st and ending April 30th, 2019. And again, he will serve as a substitute, and the Judge Lambrose is in favor of this. So we do need a motion.
I'd move the appointment of Al Beamish to serve as a substitute jury board member.
I would support that motion.
Motion made and supported. Is there a discussion on the amendment, or the motion rather? All in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed vote nay. Motion carries. We move to new business, Board of County Canvassers Notice. This is on page 69 of the thick packet. And Kelly, do we need a explanation of this, or?
That's just an acknowledgement, and you'll get the names next month and then make the appointments.
Okay.
It's just an announcement only.
All right, so that's just as she mentioned, it's a acknowledgement that we've received the names. So that's all we're doing is acknowledging, we're not making appointments or anything. So we do need to do that, however, if you'd like to make a motion that we acknowledge the Board of Canvassers notice.
I'll make a motion to
Support.
acknowledge it.
Motion made and supported, is there discussion? All in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed vote nay. Motion carries. Now we move to a resolution. This is 1520. This is an intergovernmental agreement for the Upward Talent Council. This is in the new packet on page 2. And Commissioner McLean, if you'd like to address that?
I can start with moving the resolution.
Okay. We'll need a second on that.
I'll support.
Okay, so with the, this is gonna be the agreement and resolution, correct? And if you'd like to go ahead and tell us about it?
Okay, it deals with the realignment of the Michigan Works office in order to conform with the governor's new guidelines relative to how he's gonna run the thing, lines it with talent councils. We've had 3 separate Michigan Works agencies or regional agencies over the years in the Upper Peninsula. They're consolidating into one on some aspects of it, but not everything. It's been a long, lengthy, intricate process, but we've arrived at a point now, meeting with all the representatives in Marquette. We met about a week and a half ago, and finally ironed out all the details, and this resolution reflects the direction that we need to go.
Okay. Is this all the UP counties?
Yes.
I thought so. So we do have a motion before us. Is there any further discussion? This is, again, a resolution and an agreement So, I'll call for a roll call vote on the two put together with this vote.
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner McLean,
Yes.
Chairman Shackleton.
Yes, and that passes. Resolution 1521 is an intergovernmental agreement for the Village of Detour floodplain development. I don't know if we need discussion on this, but do you want to mention it, Administrator German?
All the other counties almost, I think there's only one or two left that haven't signed this, and it's necessary for insurance purposes and other things in Yell County.
Okay.
I'll move the resolution, 1521, intergovernmental agreement, detour.
I would support.
Motion made and supported to approve Resolution 1521. Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner McLean,
Yes.
Chairman Shackleton.
Yes. Resolution 1521 passes as well. We go to standing committee reports, starting off with Building, Grounds, Jail, Legislative, Natural Resources, Information Technology Committee. There was a meeting on July 23rd. Commissioner Johnson is the chair. That is on page 70. Who'd like to present those minutes?
Since I was the only one there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. A regular meeting of the Chippewa County Board of Commissioners Building, Grounds, and Jail, Legislative and Natural Resources and Information Technology Committee was held on Thursday, July 23rd, 2015 at Chippewa County Courthouse, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Chairman Johnson called the meeting to order at 10 a.m. with a quorum present. Members present, Rudy Johnson, Don McLean, and Connor Egan by phone. Members absent, none. Others present, Nathan Kuhn, Margie Hank, Bob Markstrom, Jay Predmore, Sharon Kennedy, Jim German, and Kelly Church. It was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Egan, to approve the agenda as presented. On a voice vote, the motion carried. There was no public comment. The agenda items, window replacement. Mr. Markstrom gave an update on what he had learned about replacing the 16 round windows. The original plan will not work, as the frame and the sash cannot be manufactured due to the sill plate. But there may be another solution which involves a cost savings. This would include weather stripping the windows, adding latches, and checking the condition of the outside dormers. It was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Egan, to approve the bell tower portion of the window replacement project at a price of $58,442 and to have 2 prototype windows completed at $1,000 per window, which will weatherize and latch the windows. On a voice vote, the motion carried, and I would so move.
I'd support.
Motion made by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner, what's your name again? Martin?
Mark.
Sorry. Every once in a while, name just escapes me. Anyway, we're gonna do the window project as was mentioned. I think it's a part of getting old. I don't know.
You got a ways to go,
I
kid.
go ways to go. Anyway, we have the motion before us to do the windows as was described. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
I just want to mention real quickly that on the voice vote, Commissioner Egan voted no. I forgot to put that in.
Oh, right. So noted. All in favor of the motion, vote aye.
Aye.
And opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. My apologies, Commissioner Martin.
That's okay.
It was moved to have Mr. Markstrom work with the administration to inspect the dormers of the round windows with a lift and pay for the lift, labor, and grounds restoration to get a better idea of what is needed on the outside of the windows. On a voice vote, the motion carried. Do we need a motion here?
I think so.
Okay, I'll so
Yeah.
move then.
I will support.
Motion made by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Martin, that we also pay to have the lift, labor, and grounds restoration done for those windows inspection. Is there any further discussion?
Just mentioning that this has been a long process
Yeah,
and a complicated process, and we're at the point now where Mr. Markstrom has said that the windows that we're going to put in, the round windows, may cost less. But in order to get at it, we have to look at the outside of the building and we wanted that inspected too, and was that where the missing shingles came up?
The shingles are actually from the top of the courthouse roof.
Okay, but in order to get up there and look at it, because of the structure of the building, you have to go from the outside, and we needed to get a lift and do it right.
But maybe some of that shingle issue could be coordinated with when the lift is here. So we're already have it in place. Okay, motion is before us. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
Okay, the tunnel. After a more detailed walkthrough with the contractor of Foundation Systems of Michigan, the administration advised the project be done in steps. The first step would be to try to stop the leak on the tunnel steps by digging up and sealing the south outside steps and see if that is successful. Then over the winter, see how that holds up. Due to the lack of need of a sump pump and water-resistant siding that would not be needed to cover the whole tunnel. The price for Foundation Systems of Michigan would be cut by roughly $7,000, which would be used for the front courthouse steps and possibly radon equipment. Was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Egan, to have the administration move ahead with the courthouse steps as the first part of fixing the tunnel and then reevaluate it. On a voice vote, the motion carried, and I would so move.
Oh, I would so move, sorry. I'm sorry, I will support.
There you go.
Motion made by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Martin, that we go ahead with the first part of this project, and that is the courthouse steps. Is there discussion? Any further discussion on that? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
Okay, GIS parcel. GIS parcel mapping was discussed. The $25,000 annual allocation the county pays to EUP Regional Planning is for the annual maintenance of the GIS data. There are approximately 30,000 parcels in the county. The company that was suggested wants $4.20 per parcel. The county could do this in whatever increments it wanted. GIS Chairperson Sharon Kennedy will study the idea with the GIS committee and get back with the commission at budget time. No formal actions required at this time. There was general discussion, there was none. Committee comments, there were none. It was moved by Commissioner McLean, seconded by Commissioner Egan to adjourn the meeting. On a voice vote, the motion carried. I would move acceptance of these minutes.
I would support.
Motion made by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Martin, that the minutes of a meeting of the Building Grounds Jail Legislative Natural Resources Information Tech Committee, that meeting being July 23rd, 2015, be accepted. Is there discussion on that motion?
I just want to mention that on this GIS parcel mapping, that there is a meeting tomorrow at Regional Planning relative to that. And I believe, Jim, are you, and Sharon, and I plan to be there if my schedule allows it.
Okay.
And Tim McKee and various other people, see where we are on that.
Where's that meeting at?
Regional Planning, and it's at 1:30 tomorrow. So if you could be there, that would be good too.
Yeah, we have-
Michigan Works, Jim.
Yeah, Michigan Works.
Okay, and we have the motion before us. All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We move on to finance, claims, and accounts, and Commissioner Martin, we had a meeting on August 6th. That is on page 22 of the thin packet.
Regular meeting of the Chippewa County Board of Commissioners Finance Claims and Accounts was held on Thursday, August 6, 2015, in Chippewa County Building, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Chairman Shackleton called the meeting to order at 2 p.m. with a quorum present. Members present were Commissioner Shackleton, Commissioner McLean, Commissioner Johnson, myself, and Commissioner Egan were absent. Others present were Administrator German and Administrators German and Church. Moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Johnson, to approve the agenda as presented on a voice vote. That motion carried. There was no public comment offered. The committee did receive treasurer's investment reports, monthly travel reports, and other such items, along with the Visa billing statement. Do we need those amounts entered into the record? No?
No.
Okay. And, let's see, we would
Move to the
move
sheriff's
to
department.
Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
Agenda item, the committee received and reviewed an update for an annual, lease of building 234, at least the south half of it, by the Sheriff's Department, with a lease cost of $250 per month from December 1st, 2015 to November 30th, 2016, with a 90-day cancellation, notice. Commissioner McLean, also had an additional travel request for Commissioner Johnson. This lease on a voice vote was carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Martin, supported by Commissioner McLean, that we approve the lease in the amount of $250 a month with the EDC for a period December 1st, 2015 through November 3rd, 2016. Is there discussion on that motion?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I had a quick question, maybe for Kelly or Jim. I noticed in going through the notes that they wanted a 5-year lease with a 30-day cancellation. How did we settle it at 1 year with a 90-day cancellation?
I think we probably wanted the 5-year, didn't we? Or
Yes,
did-
the Sheriff's Department
Yeah.
wanted.
We did, the EDC has had various people taking a look at that building, and they almost had a chance to bring in a new business, earlier this year, and that point didn't work out. We were not covering the electric costs, which they felt was fair, that's why it went up $100, but they want continued use, the flexibility, I should say, to give us originally 30 days, and then we said 90 days to move our stuff out, because it may be in the middle of winter. We have boats and snowmobiles and all kinds of large storage equipment in that building. So in return for that 90 days, Mr. Ewing of the EDC did assure me that if that did happen, that there would be more room available in a hangar or somewhere.
Okay.
Basically, we're getting 10,000 square feet at a very
Yes.
reasonable price. And they're saying if a business wants to come in and create jobs, we're gonna kick you out.
That's okay.
So the motion's before us. Supported, correct?
Yep, I made the motion.
All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
Committee also received an updated policy, 241, about part-time hours with county road patrol and what establishes a work period. The work period for the Sheriff's Department, jail, and road patrol are 14 days. And in that time period, there will be, I believe, was it 58 hours for part-time and 80 for full-time. They can't go over that in the 14-day period. It was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Johnson, to approve policy 241, part-time hours policy as presented, which established a 14-day work period for the Sheriff's Road and Jail part-time staff. On a voice vote, the motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Motion made and supported to approve the new policy 241, part-time hours update. And this is actually not a new policy, this is updating policy 241. Is there any further discussion on the motion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
The committee also reviewed bills and payroll, and it was moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Johnson, to recommend the approval of July bills and payroll as follows. General claims totaling $299,536.57. Other fund claims of $426,947.70. Payroll of $464,632.28. Health Department claims of $537,845.17, for a grand total of $1,728,961.72, along with vouchers H1 through H282 on a voice vote. That motion carried, and I would so move.
Support.
Commissioner Martin moved that we pay the bills, and Commissioner McLean supported it. And is there further discussion on the motion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries.
Moved by Commissioner McLean, supported by Commissioner Johnson, to adjourn the meeting after a discussion on Chippewa County regarding the EMS. I would so move to accept the minutes of the committees.
Support.
And motion made and supported that we accept the meeting minutes, the Finance Claims and Account Committee of August sixth, 2015. Is there discussion on that motion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed, vote nay. Motion carries. We move to Commissioner report on meetings as board representative and general comments from board members. Commissioner McLean.
I just want to mention that I attended the meeting that was mentioned in the Finance Committee of Chippewa Township. And we had a representative of the Forest Service there. And it's going to be a real struggle if we're able to do anything. But the situation with ambulance EMS response in the Out County area, particularly that area, because I think the one township, Chippewa Township, has like 90-some% is federal forest. And the federal government feels that they pay, what's it called, PILT? And amounts to $300,000 for that whole area out there, the whole 3 townships. And there was a discussion as to where that money goes. We got an answer to that. It goes mainly to the schools. But we're looking at, in order to put together a system out there that would be functional and meet all the guidelines that the state has imposed, it would cost about $500,000 a year to do that. And there's a real dilemma relative to that because the townships out there are mainly federal forest and the federal government doesn't want to pay any more than they have
Sure.
to for that. But then our citizens and visitors expect that when somebody gets hurt and they call, that there's going to be an ambulance arrive in a reasonable amount of time. Although I want to mention that the representative of the Forest Service says when you're out west in the mountains or wherever and you get hurt, you have to wait for an airplane or a helicopter to arrive in order to get you out. So an expectation of immediate assistance is not expected out west, but we still have residents that live in that area that need help. So just wanted to mention.
I'm not sure that's the great response. So it's sort of like if you live in fiber and your house catches on fire, tough luck, you know?
That's what it's going to end up being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, once you get, halfway up the state, and from the northern part going forward, including the UP, when you look at the amount of property that's owned by state and federal, it's incredible. It's incredible. Anyway, all right, anyone else, comments or reports? I guess that would be good.
Yeah,
Good.
we had, obviously, last month, a very good meeting with Representative Chatfield on the dark store dilemma. And they look to be moving forward with legislation that would be favorable in September. We have a state senator in town in an hour that we might want to go visit. The city did settle for 2013 and 2014. Will cost the taxpayers of Chippewa County's governmental agencies over $100,000. The alternative, had we gone all the way to tribunal downstate and lost, it would have been closer to $1 million. The unfortunate part, though, is once Walmart has their hand out and gets money in it, that everybody else may indeed get in line and want that same settlement. So we'll see how that fares. The city is still going to fight Walmart and others about 2015 taxes as going forward. So that's where we're at. Please let Representative Chatfield know that we'd like to have that moved, because every month that goes by, the tax tribunal gives away more money permanently because of Proposal A. We can't ever get it back. That money is gone from Chippewa County forever. $100,000 and counting. So that's where we're at. We actually wrote it.
And I did talk to him personally after that meeting too, and he does sound like he's supportive of
Yes.
a solution. And I talked about Wayne Schmidt too, and we needed to touch base with him out again today. Be a good opportunity. Is he gonna be there at 3?
3:30 to 4:30, cup of the day.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Adjournment.
I would support that.
Motion made and supported to adjourn this meeting. Any discussion? All in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
This meeting